extremely helpful clarifications and specific expertise, and of course, my wife, for her thoughtful feedback and script editing that keeps these videos from running longer than Peter Jackson films. Thank you so much to all of these folks. When people encounter spiders, there are naturally certain questions that come to mind.
Is it dangerous?
Will it bite me? Is it dangerous? And how will it affect my life? But there is so much more to explore with this unusual spider, like how it manages to change color to match its environment, how it hunts, how it seems to have figured out how to use bait, and how its habitat needs vividly show us just how precious and crucial biodiversity is. So of course I'll cover those first basic questions about how it might affect us as humans, but the good stuff is the stuff that has nothing to do with us, because this creature is a marvel in its own right.
And they're escaping again. I'm just gonna let them. He'll die. It's not my fault.
This is a type of crab spider, and when we say that, we're essentially saying that it belongs to the family Thomisidae. Thomisids are usually pretty easy to spot reliably. The first two pairs of legs will be very noticeably longer than the last two. They'll often be held out to the side like this in this "come at me bro" stance. These legs are significantly thicker than the other two pairs, like they're really muscular, especially at the femurs. A bit like Mr. Incredible. And if we look at the stance of this spider and the way these legs are held, we see that they tend to bend back first, then arch forward. These are what's called raptorial limbs that are made for seizing prey. And we see these in other animals like mantids and tailor swift scorpions, which is what I now call tailless whip scorpions, the amblypygids.
Oh my god.
The legs are hinged such that they fold back on themselves, creating a grasping section between opposing leg segments, which is different from a grasping claw like we see on a scorpion or lobster. Why is he keeping lobsters in his pockets? I arranged
Lobster Man!
the family a spider belongs to. Digonophids look extremely menacing. Most spiders look a little confused and maybe a little sad. Their faces have been described as sad snowmen. Jumping spiders look extremely curious. Crab spiders, however, look like
They can feed
what's
themselves.
gonna happen if we don't get off their lawn. They are far and away the grumpiest looking family of spiders I know of, and I absolutely love them for it. They've got this first row of 4 eyes, with the outer 2 being the largest, usually situated on a somewhat elevated portion of the prosoma.
Oops, I've watered my chickens.
No!
No!
Then a second
No!
row of 4 smaller eyes that go across the top of the head here. Thomisids don't often move all that quickly, and they have this ability to move sideways like this, much like a crab, which, combined with their unique stance, is where their name comes from.
So we're gonna go there.
In the Thomisidae family, there are currently 171 different genera, containing over 2,000 different species.
That's a lot of
So how
spiders.
do we know when we're dealing with Misumena vati, the goldenrod crab spider?
It's golden.
The first clue will be where you spot it. You're not likely to find a goldenrod crab spider on the ground or on the wall of your house or a fence or in the cracks and crevices between rocks, and you won't find it hanging in a web. This spider here is whitish and even has these reddish stripes down the sides of its abdomen, but it's hanging in an orb web. This
It's an
is
orb
a
weaver.
Piscata, a kind of orb weaver, not at all related to crab spiders. This one, the cobweb, is a
Hey, Thomas.
spider, also not really related, and the web keeps it away. You'll virtually always find goldenrod crab spiders on vegetation, and in particular, flowering vegetation, usually somewhere on the flower or clump of flowers itself. And we'll get into why that is in a bit.
Oh boy, we've got a tar outbreak.
Identifying these animals is quite tricky. The males and females can look quite different from each other. If you saw a mature male and a mature female next to each other,
You think they were different
you might
spiders?
not think they were even the same species. This is called sexual dimorphism, when the males and females of a species take significantly different forms. Size-wise, adult females get up to about 9 millimeters of body length, about 3/8 of an inch. So these aren't really big spiders. Most
Oh. Oh. I'm not learning about spiders anymore. I'm watching a friend's stream. Ow! You son of a biscuit! It's so sad. Give me that jelly stone. There's another one somewhere. There. There's another one. Give me a second.
There's plenty of barrels here, so we'll get a little bit of gas on this as well, which is nice. Fucking shit, dude. Construction's closed, man. There's the dogs. A fucking memo. No one. Toward the head. Please. And the other. I have 22 out of 30.
Happy bees.
30 is my next one.
I wonder what a Tangle Hunter would look like.
I don't want to craft any gas. It's way more efficient to craft gas.
Alright, I'm gonna mute myself so you guys don't hear the stream in the background. If you don't want to talk, let me know.
may not be bright pink or red stripes running down the sides of the abdomen here. And if we look at the last segments of those long raptorial front legs, we can see the spines that are used to grab prey. And in the face, we can often see this white patch under the eyes, but we don't see a white ridge going all along this part. If you see a white ridge like this, you're probably looking at the closely related Lissaminoides formicipes, known as the white-banded crab spider. Males have a couple of different forms depending on their life stage. When immature, they'll look basically like small females. When they're at the penultimate stage, meaning one molt away from maturity, they'll have these stripes on their front legs, and often these brownish stripes down their backs with 2 more along the sides here.
Y'all
They'll often
happy?
have somewhat darkened sides to their personas. Once they're mature, the front legs become almost entirely dark with some light banding. The entire persona is kind of a purple or brown, with the section down the middle a little lighter, and the abdomen has very obvious dark markings on it. And you can see the enlarged ends of the pedipalps that we always see with adult male spiders. Now, while the females get up
They're trying. They did it!
the males only
They got the chicken into their pen.
less than half the length, and often only about 1/10 of the mass. When gravid, about to make an egg sac, females can be 100 times the mass of their male counterparts.
I'm sorry, what?
This is one of the most extreme male-female size differences of all spider species, surpassed only by a handful of large orb weavers. This species does have some close lookalikes, and I already mentioned the white-banded crab spider. But don't worry if you mistake a different flower-hunting crab spider for this one. It's not as though one of them leaves money on your doorstep and the other one poisons your coffee. The different varieties of flower-hunting crab spiders are pretty similar to each other, so if you've seen the features I've mentioned and still get it wrong, you'll only be a little wrong. A lot less wronger than people who just compare pictures on the internet without looking at specific features. There's a really fantastic article on bugguide.net that goes into detail about these different crab spiders.
I don't mix any of my slimes.
Crab spiders.
Oh, okay, that's a lie.
Now, there's a really cool...
Also, I don't believe you. I think that would mean instant death.
Small. In 2000, Dr. Victoria...
I mixed these ones, but that's the only slime I have ever mixed.
Spiders fed them either red-eyed or white-eyed fruit flies. She found that spiderlings that were fed the red-eyed fruit flies had their abdomens changed to a pink color.
We're learning about spiders. That link is to a friend's YouTube channel. They're live right now.
Diet-induced color change.
They have
stopped
quite the
happening
mouth,
after the spiders
though.
had gone through 4
They're playing 7
molts.
Days to Die.
And it's because these spiders eat prey starting with the head, where the eyes are. The younger, smaller spiders can only eat so much. They eat the head, and they're full. So a larger
I use mosaics as a money farm.
has those red pigments, which show through the translucent epidermis. As the spiders get bigger, they eat more of the prey, so those pigments are a smaller portion.
I need
of the
more
total.
tabby.
This means that little tiny spiderlings can vary quite a bit in their coloration, but as they grow, that white-yellow color dominates. Is this a dangerously bitey spider? I really don't think so. Now, I say this with a degree of uncertainty because the truth is, I could not for the life of me find a record of a confirmed human bite from one of these spiders.
You want what from me?
Things, first of all. Second, they're just not inclined to bite. I had to poke at these spiders quite a lot to figure it out. And while they often looked annoyed with me, not once did one try to bite. Third, spider venom is surprisingly specific stuff. It's a cocktail of different toxins and enzymes. And some spiders'
cough.
venom contains toxins specific to insects, while other spiders might have toxins that target crustaceans, and some the nervous systems of mammals. This spider
You guys ready for an adventure?
Insects, so
We're
it's
not
doubtful
going that
this
way.
venom would do much of anything at all to a human being. The spider
The
is
music
pretty
here is
common
sad.
and shows up in people's flower gardens all the time, so there's tons of opportunities year after year for human encounters and accidents with this species, and yet they've never been a concern. And with literally no case history that I can find,
Hi,
it's
babies.
safe to say that either this spider's bite does so little that no one's ever noticed it, Maybe it tries and it can't? I'm not really sure. Either way, you really don't need to worry about these from
We're learning about spiders. Whether you like it or not.
If we have a look at a couple of different data sources...
Well, I mean, you
to
can
see
just
where
leave.
these
Please don't
species
leave.
occur, we
Leave.
see that they occupy a wide strip through
Pretty please don't leave.
but don't occur in the southern hemisphere. We see a gap in Asia, but I suspect that has more to do with a lack of reporting. That gap exists for pretty much any species you look at. There's this gap in the southeastern US as well, which piqued my curiosity, but seemed to be explained when I looked at the occurrence map for Myceminoides. The goldenrod's cousins seem to be filling that gap, so it's probably a matter of one outcompeting the other, like two
Or
plants
misidentification.
with an age-old grudge. Some of you might be thinking, I'm in an area where these should be abundant, but I've never seen them in my garden.
That's because they're hard to see.
understand why that might be, we first need to understand how
Yeah,
these
the
spiders
I'm sorry, did a slime just activate one of the
might find out
thingies?
what a fragile existence this species has.
Go away, Instagram.
So what do these unique spiders use to lure in their prey? It turns out, nectar. The goldenrod crab spider falls into the ambush hunter guild. If you want to know more about spider classifications, check out the Spider Basics series. It's a sit-and-wait predator that positions itself cunningly on carefully selected flowers that attract pollinating insects. When the insect lands on the flower to get to nectar, the spider is waiting, and those powerful raptorial front legs grab it. Kind of like the people
Expand your
standing just inside the
vocabulary.
grocery store door handing out credit card applications. There's actually a lot to this, and after spending a couple of decades studying them, Dr. Douglas Morse wrote an entire book about how these spiders hunt and thrive.
Ow.
Predator upon a flower. Almost certainly not available at your local bookstore, but you can order it from Harvard University Press. It's $80, which is typical for academic texts like this. I got it through the university library. Understanding the hunting method begins with understanding how these spiders perceive the world. We're actually a little fuzzy on this. The cellular structure of crab spider eyes suggests that they should have fairly sharp vision, as good as wolf spiders.
But it's
However,
not.
while we think they can spot movement well, they walk right over prey that isn't moving, so they don't seem to recognize stationary forms. Luckily, they also have sensory hairs that sense objects they can touch, special hairs called trichomothria that can sense movements in air currents, and organs
Tricho
on their
means
legs
hair.
called split sensillae that can sense vibrations through the surface they're standing on.
Trick means hair.
Goldenrod crab spiders have been observed turning toward prey that was moving nearby, but that was out of sight, so we know they can detect vibrations. And they respond to flying insects that aren't touching any surfaces, so they detect these air movements as well. It's likely that they combine information from all of these sensors to understand their surroundings. Using this array of senses, the first step for these spiders is to pick a spot, a hunting patch. Now, a patch can be a tight bunch of small flowers like we see on goldenrod, or a single flower like a daisy or a pasture rose. Choosing a patch to hunt on is a decision that sets off a cascade of factors that ultimately determine the spider's success, all the way to reproduction. As adults, they're capable of monitoring multiple patches. When an insect visits a clump of flowers adjacent to the one the spider is on, it often turns toward that insect immediately, even though it can't reach it. In 1979 and 1980, Douglas Morse and Robert Fricks did intensive observations of a population of goldenrod crab spiders in Maine. They monitored many individual spiders over periods of up to a couple of weeks. How did they manage to track individual spiders in the wild for that long, you ask? They wrote numbers on the spiders' butts with a ballpoint pen, which I can't imagine was fun for anyone. They found that within a few hours of arriving on a given plant stem, the spiders had usually moved to whichever patch was most visited by prey. They're most concerned with the number of prey coming to a patch, not necessarily the type of prey or the type of flower. This is probably because they actually have a very low capture rate. They rely on capturing larger insects like bumblebees, and they only succeed in capturing about 3% of the ones they even attack. So perhaps it's no wonder they're so grumpy looking. I'd be grumpy if my food got away that often too. Come on! With this low capture rate, they need to find a patch that gives them lots of chances. But they're not that well adapted to moving around, or over long distances. In Morse and Fritz's observations of these spiders in the field, when moving from one patch
Dang it!
to another, these spiders only moved an average of 2.2 meters, about 7 feet. And over 2,000 spiders they studied moved more than 25 meters, or about 80 feet, over the course of their entire adult lives. So they have very limited mobility and range as adults. And any given type of flower, be it milkweed, goldenrod, daisies, pasture rose, only has a certain period of time during which it is blooming and actually attracting insects. Goldenrod, for instance, only blooms from mid to late August and into early October, depending on where you are.
Yeah, I collect them whenever I see them.
When you put all of this together, there's a very
I'm not looking for money. I'm looking for
There
a
are
quantum
only
largo.
so many places these spiders can establish and thrive. They're dependent
Alright, I
on
know where
flowers
he
to
is.
attract their prey. They don't move very far in their
I just don't
lifetimes,
remember.
And any one flower type can't last them their entire season.
I know where it is. I just can't remember where.
Are those with the correct combination of flowering plants. As Morse puts it, the presence or absence of satisfactory flowers at each season is an even more critical and more likely limiting factor than the abundance of flowers at a particular stage. So it's not about how many flowers are at a site. It's about how many types and whether their blooming seasons cover the spider's active period from the spring until the fall. I found this patch of goldenrod on the side of a road amid nothing but grass and could not find any of these spiders on any of it. But only 20 or 30 meters away, there was more goldenrod with patches of other flower-bearing plants right next to it, and I immediately was able to find quite a few of them. So, someone who has a front yard that's nothing but carefully manicured lawn and some roses in a tempered bed won't see these spiders because they've created what's called a monoculture. And herein lies one of many things nature could teach us if we bother to listen. Virtually nothing thrives in an environment that lacks diversity. Let's assume, though, that they've found such an environment and are thriving. What does that look like? For adult females, thriving means eating enough to produce an egg sac early in the season, so the spiderlings have time to hatch and grow before the winter comes. And 20% of these females fail to do that. These females can and do attack smaller prey like hoverflies, and they have a 39% success rate of capturing those when they attack them, but they might actually lose mass in those. Bumblebees are much harder to capture. One experiment showed a 1.6% success rate with them, but they have 60 times the mass of a hoverfly, so they're the more ideal prey. Now it gets exceptionally hot on the surface of these flowers. The surfaces can get up to 15 degrees Celsius above the ambient temperature, which in the summer can often reach 30 degrees Celsius or higher. In Fahrenheit, that's like an ambient temperature of 86 degrees.
Damn!
13. But fortunately, these spiders seem uniquely built to take it. A 1999 study by Victoria Schmalhofer found that the goldenrod crab spider's close cousin, Misumenoides formicipes, could still function at up to 48 degrees Celsius, 118 Fahrenheit.
Christ!
Now, don't send Dr. Schmalhofer angry letters. She didn't heat them up until they died, just before they sort of collapsed. At the time, there was only
Okay, where the hell is the quantum Gordo? I can never find it.
maximum, and that was a spider from the desert in Africa. So these flower-hunting spiders seem to be specially adapted to withstand the higher temperatures that occur.
I remember the
at
type of
the
area
surface.
it's in. I don't remember where though.
Perhaps the most amazing and body color to camouflage with the flower they're hunting on. These spiders on these phlox anemone flowers are predominantly white, while the spiders that had been living on this goldenrod for a while appeared distinctly yellow, despite being the same species. What gives the purple and pink flowers
Can
their
you
color
assist
is the
me?
presence of red, and while most insects see deep into the ultraviolet spectrum, they don't have receptors for red light. So while this spider sticks out to our eyes, to a hoverfly or a bee, it might look more like this. And what about these red stripes that are sometimes present? To insects, again, those would be virtually...
No, that's the boom largo. I mean, Gordo, I already got that.
As A.G. Hinton demonstrated
It's in a cave
1976
somewhere.
by photographing spiders in both visible light and UV light. He
I know it's not up
theorized
high. I
that
know
the
it's like
red
way
stripes
down low in a
might
little
be
hidden area.
somatism, an advertisement to predators who can see red light,
They're both
like
down low,
lizards
but
and
the
birds.
boom Gordo is
Disgusting
easy to
and likely
spot.
poisonous. If that's what those stripes are for, then this spider is a big fat liar. While it may be venomous, nothing bad actually happens to an animal that eats it. Maybe the bluff works though, because in 20 years of studying these spiders, Morse and his colleagues never once saw a bird try to eat one.
God dang it.
First time I saw a spark, I thought it was
Go away, Chick-fil-A. I don't eat chicken.
How do these spiders actually change their color between white and yellow, though? Well, first they need to know what color they're trying to match to, and second,
think it's
they need to know what color their own bodies
right
are.
around here.
Turns out
or
their
around
vision
here.
plays a key role here. Back in 1941, Gertrude Weigel in Germany found that white spiders would turn yellow when put on a yellow background, but not if their eyes had been painted over with black. They needed to be able to see to get the color change. 70 years later, Dr. Teresita Insausti and her team in France
I hear a
studied
kitty.
the visual fields and cellular structure of the spider's eyes. And
Here it
found
is.
that not only would they be able to see both the surface they were standing on and their own bodies simultaneously, but their eyes also had all the necessary components to see multiple colors, probably better than most insects. So they're most likely matching their color to flowers.
So I've got 32, so I need
As for how they
18
actually
more.
make the change, that's still not
Or, so I need 18 more fruit or 9 more
known.
lemons.
The outer layer of the spider's body, the cuticle, is transparent. In the abdomen, guanine crystals are stored in cells called guanocytes, just below the epidermis, while in the prosoma, crystals containing something called uric acid are present.
We're learning a lot today.
Responsible for the spider's white or pink color. The change to
Oh,
yellow is
Pakwe.
now believed to be due to compounds present in the cells of the epidermis. A 2008 paper by Teresita Insausti and Jerome Casas in France studied the different compounds found there and discovered different pigment granules scattered in the cytoplasm of these cells. They called the type found in white spiders type 1
Oh.
granules and found that several of these
I don't know why I
combined
slowly
with
ascend, I mean descend.
which was a transient
It doesn't make a
that led to
difference
the
at
larger
all
type
whatsoever.
granule. This final granule, now containing the omicron pigment, could vary. in
That's where the
type
boom one
from
is.
Red, and in yellow spiders, only these type 3 granules were found. The combination of these granules in the epidermis and the white reflected guanine crystals below is what gives the spider the bright yellow coloration. So essentially, when the spider wants to be yellow, it makes these progranules combine and build into this yellow stuff in the epidermis. When it wants to be white, it breaks that stuff back down. But how exactly
What if it
the
wants
spider
to be
controls and
purple?
triggers this creation and destruction of these omicron pigments remains a bit of a mystery. How quickly they can do this can be a bit confusing. There's some conflicting information about how long this takes. If you read the Wikipedia page for this species, it says that it takes 10 to 25 days to turn from white to yellow, and 5 or 6 days to turn back. I don't think it does. Bristow and others have said that they can make the change in just 3 or 4 days. This is an interesting case study in how to read studies, and I'm actually not trashing Wikipedia here. I may have been a little hard on it in the past, but it's good for general knowledge and it's often useful for finding original sources for things. In this case, it cites a source for that 10 to 25 day claim, a 1998 paper by Jeff Oxford and Rosemary Gillespie. The thing is, if we actually read the Oxford-Gillespie paper that Wikipedia cites, we find that Oxford and Gillespie were themselves citing a paper by Russian biologist Eugene Gavrachevsky from 1927.
Dang it.
So we have Gavrachevsky's 1927 observations, where the spiders took a long time to change color, and other sources like Bristow, who said it could happen in just 3 to 4 days. Fast forward 73 years to when Victoria Schmalhofer was doing her research on these spiders. She notes as an aside in her paper that Gavrachevsky was working in the lab with the spiders, and she says, "It is possible that Gavrachevsky's results were due to the restricted diet, Drosophila, given to the spiderlings, or to some other difference between the laboratory and the environment, e.g. light intensity, substrate character. Light quality or intensity in particular may be important in affecting morphological color changes. Compared to color changes occurring under natural conditions, color changes occurring under artificial lighting take longer to complete, and a paler yellow hue results." Personal observation. So Gavrachevsky was probably observing spiders on a lab diet under the kind of artificial lighting available in 1927, while Bristow and others were likely observing them in the wild and under full natural light, leading to 2 completely different measurements. That itself, though, is what revealed that light intensity and quality has an effect on this color change. Either way, this color-changing trick is pretty nifty, and it seems obviously intended to hide the spider. Our old friend William Bristow fooled around and found out a bit with this notion back in the 50s. He arranged 16 dandelion heads in a 4x4 square, and in the center of each he placed either a black pebble or a yellow pebble, the same color as the dandelion, about the size of a crab spider's body, and watched to see how many insects came to each flower head for half an hour.
I built my credit with my rent payment for free, thanks to Sal.
I stumbled on this game-changing craze.
10 times as many honeybees and syrphid flies visited the flowers with the yellow pebbles as the black. So it's clear that this color-changing ability of these spiders matching themselves to the surface they're on is all about camouflaging themselves so prey doesn't see them. Here's the weird thing. Recent evidence is suggesting that that might be totally wrong. In 100 years of believing this, nobody had ever really measured its effectiveness in the field. Bristow had used yellow pebbles and black pebbles, but these spiders aren't black, and pebbles aren't spiders, so perhaps his experiment was flawed. In 2007, Rolf Breckenridge, Jerome Casas, and Sven Bakker actually collected data on this in Switzerland. They set up yellow, white, and violet flowers in an outdoor garden and swapped yellow and white spiders on and off them. They used cameras to record insect visits to the flowers and captures of prey by the spiders for 3 straight days, and they did this 10 times. Shockingly, insects didn't visit flowers with color-matched spiders on them any more than they did flowers with non-color-matched spiders. There was really no significant difference in how insects reacted to camouflage and non-camouflage spiders. Some kinds avoided the spiders regardless of color, and other kinds ignored the spiders, again, regardless of color. It's clear that at least certain insects are able to detect these spiders and avoid them. I monitored this spider on this flower here periodically for several days and it had flocks that bees seemed to love. And sure enough, I routinely saw this happen. I'm pretty sure I saw these bees visit every flower but hers. Ultimately, the spiders don't seem to capture any more prey when they match their color to their flower than when they don't. So why do they bother? We don't know. For 100 years, we thought we had it figured out, but suddenly it's a great big
Oh, have
question
fun.
again. Breckbull theorized that it might be to protect themselves from solar radiation, a kind of natural sunscreen, as we know these pigments are used by some insects to block certain kinds of light. But as near as I can tell from the literature, we got nothing solid on this yet. So this spider's most notable feature and perhaps most impressive ability remains a mystery to us. Despite the ineffectiveness of this camouflage, some insects ignore the spider and come to the flowers anyway. And when they do, those raptorial forelegs are waiting. Their venom seems to be particularly fast-acting. Adult females could render bumblebees their own weight motionless in as little as 5 to 10 seconds. This requires a degree of accuracy, though. They usually attack larger bees at the neck, where the head meets the thorax. If they attack anywhere else, the attempt is usually unsuccessful. Once they've actually got the prey, the way these spiders actually consume it is as interesting as it is gross. Their mouth parts are too small to chew the prey, like some other spiders do. Instead, they touch their mouth to one of the holes they've punctured with their fangs, suck some of the prey's fluids out and into their own stomachs, mix it with their stomach fluids, then pump it back into the prey's body. They do this again and again until there's enough of their stomach fluids in the prey to break down all the soft tissues, which they then just suck out. Consequently, you can sometimes find the empty husks of their prey beneath their hunting site. Once the females have eaten enough, they'll be able to make a viable egg sac, if a male manages to find them. And that's a whole new set of challenges. This begins the way all love stories begin, with how they meet. Like many other spider species, the female's job is to stay put and eat as much as she can, leaving it up to the male to venture out and find her. She starts doing this once she completes her final mold to maturity. Now there's an element of timing here. She needs to mature, mate, and make an egg sac early enough in the season for the eggs to hatch and for the spiderlings to grow large enough to overwinter successfully. The thing is, once she reaches maturity, she loses the ability to overwinter. I couldn't find why that is, but a plausible guess I heard was that the hormonal changes associated with reproduction might be incompatible with the changes necessary for overwintering diapods. Maybe. We don't know. So, if it's late in the season, females might actually slow down their eating to prevent that final molt, so that they can overwinter and mature good early the following year. Unlike many species, though, the females don't give the males a lot of help in finding them. As near as we can tell, this species does not use pheromones, either airborne or in the silk lines they leave. In his research, Douglas Morse found that the males pretty much had to bump into the females to find them. Even putting them on the same flower only resulted in the two meeting 60% of the time, and that seemed to be by fluke. This might be where the sexual dimorphism comes in. When the males molt to maturity, those front legs are particularly long, and the spiders become much more mobile than their female counterparts. Population densities of this species are usually somewhat low, so males don't end up fighting over females very often. Instead, whoever finds the female first will be able to mate in a phenomenon known as scramble competition. It's a race, not a fight. And it's thought that the males use contact cues, what the environment feels like to touch, to find sites where females are likely to be. Both of these skills are what the next generation of spiderlings will need to be able to find good foraging sites, so it makes sense for the female to present the male with this challenge. She wants to be found, but she wants to be difficult to find, so that the one who finds her will father the most fit children.
Yep, I know. I would farm the crap out of them for money. Oh my goodness. Wait, are you both for fruits or both for veggie? No, one's for fruit, one's for veggie.
The males will also follow silk lines when searching for females, and they do seem to be able to distinguish those of their own species somehow, but it doesn't seem to be with pheromones. Jill Anderson and Douglas Morse tested this out, washing the lines in water and acetone, only to find that it made no difference to the spiders. So the males are pretty much left to search randomly. Scramble competition means the amount of ground cover will probably be the deciding factor, favoring mobility. When males and females do meet, though, this species has possibly the least romantic approach to the whole affair that I've read about in any spider. There's no real courtship, no tapping, no web plugging, no leg or palp waving, no flirting at all. The male just climbs on to the much larger female's abdomen, moves to one side, inserts one palp into her genital opening on one side, then goes back to the top and down the other side for the other palp. The whole thing takes about 4 minutes, after which the male just jumps off and runs away. The males don't often get eaten by the females. They're so small that the females wouldn't gain much from eating them anyway. And in the wild, females usually outnumber males. Right out of the egg sac, there's a 1.5 to 1 female-to-male ratio. And by adulthood, there could be up to 5 times as many females as males in a population. So males need to mate with more than one female for all of the females to produce young. Once they've mated, the females will make their egg sac in mid-summer, creating a nest by folding over the end of a leaf and sealing up the sides with silk to protect the egg sac from parasitoid wasps. And she'll guard that egg sac until the spiderlings hatch about 3.5 weeks later. And they'll either find some living plants like goldenrod to hunt on, or balloon away in search of some. She'll die as winter sets in, while the spiderlings, having molted a couple of times by now, will retreat into the litter on the ground to overwinter. Over the next spring and summer, those spiderlings will grow, but remain immature, and overwinter again. And that following year, molt to maturity, first the males, then the females, mate, and do it all over again. So they have roughly a 2-year lifespan from egg to death. This is not a spider that you need to worry about. And while some of you might be concerned about the fact that this species preys on pollinators, which we know we need really badly, they don't eat enough of them to have any appreciable effect on their populations. And in your garden, they actually eat more than just pollinators. They eat almost anything, and that includes insects that eat your flowers and seed predators that munch on developing seeds. They also prey on gnats and midges and mosquitoes, if that endears you to them at all.
Hello.
This is a truly fascinating and unique species of spider that remains...
By the way, yesterday, could you hear me talking, or was my mic just not working because I was playing Don't Starve Together? Because I said hi and whatnot. Did my mic just say fuck you? Where's your remote here? No, I was talking. We're learning about spiders.
Mystery to us, and it seems it faces a unique set of challenges to its survival. It's kind of amazing that it's been able to overcome all these hurdles and continue as a species. For me, this spider's ecology is a reminder of the importance of biodiversity and the fragility of existence for so many species we may not even be aware of. They may be grumpy looking, but just like us, they're just trying to make their way in life, day by day. And from what I've learned, they don't have a real easy time of it. So the next time you're around some flowers, have a look for these little spiders. And if you find one, tip your hat to it for managing to survive in an increasingly... $76, please?
I need $76. I'll pay you back when I get paid next week. Just download the Albert app. They'll spot you up to...
I love this. Listen to this.
These are the spiders in your house.
Bing! I love the intro. It's adorable.
Strap in, folks. We got a lot to talk about with
Yes,
this one.
he's sick.
So, this is a spider you may have already heard of. It's been in the news a couple of times for a couple of different reasons over the years. It appears on a few of the top 10 lists of most dangerous spiders. It makes an appearance in a lot of articles and lists around the internet. Meet Caracanthium milvii, the yellow sac spider. Here's what happens when people find one of these. yellow spider. They find yellow sac spider. They go, yep, that's it. They learn that it was involved in a major vehicle recall. They find it on several lists of the world's most dangerous spiders.
Which are never accurate, by the way.
Articles and videos telling them that the spider's bite causes horrible necrosis, panic, start killing them and calling exterminators, and never sleep again. Now, is all of that really necessary? I did a lot of research on these spiders as I have them in my own house, and I learned a lot of really fascinating things about them. I learned that they aren't quite strict predators. I learned the truth about that vehicle recall. I learned whether essential oils really do repel them or not.
No.
I learned about the effects of the bite and the venom. And I'm going to go into all of that and more. But first, a big thank you goes out to Dr. Catherine Scott at McGill University in Montreal, Dr. Jeffrey Isbister at
Where's the
Newcastle, Australia, and Dr. Victoria Schmalhofer at IUPUI in Indiana for their help in some of the research for this video. Thank you. It really improves the quality of these videos and helps me deliver the most accurate information that I can. Because like I always say, less wronger
is more better.
So,
More
how do
gooder,
you know
sorry.
you got a yellow sac spider? Well, let's have a look at one. Now, I'd seen a bunch of these in my house over the summer, but of course, when it came time to do the video, I couldn't find one when I needed one. So I put what must have looked like a very bizarre post on our small town community Facebook group, and in true Nova Scotia fashion, somebody was crazy enough to respond and caught me this lovely male. So they're usually sort of yellow overall with these adorable little black toes. The coloration can vary a little bit. They can vary towards the greenish end of things, but generally they look sort of straw-colored or yellow. The prosoma, sometimes called the cephalothorax, which is sort of the head where all of the legs attach, that's usually kind of a brown. It can be yellowish to brownish. It's usually a little bit darker than the rest of the spider. It can be a little bit almost black in the eye area. They've got 8 eyes in 2 rows, with the top curving above the bottom row.
It does that, yeah.
Black chelicerae, which is the moving mouth parts that the biting parts attached to. And they'll usually
You get used to it. There's nothing I can do about it. You just gotta deal with it.
That's called the heart mark. That's actually where the spider's heart is. We know this one's a male because of these pedipalps. They've got the enlarged end on them. And these spiders don't have
It's actually beneficial.
lookalikes, so if you've got all these features,
The more comments a video or stream has, the more it is recommended.
It could be Caracanthium inclusum. We have both species here in North America. Of course, the only way to tell them apart is, you guessed it, looking at the genitalia, which most of us can't do, myself included. But a general rule in North America is if you find it indoors, it's most likely mildiae, and if you find it outdoors, it's most likely inclusum. Of course, that doesn't hold true 100% of the time, but it's a general rule. The literature makes me think that might not hold true in Europe. And also over in Europe, you folks have Caracanthium, which is closely related but a little bit different and has much bigger bitey parts. But the 3 aren't significantly different from each other, so for our purposes here, we can sort of treat them all like the same spider. Let's talk about that vehicle recall for a minute, because that was fun. So this is in fact the exact spider that was involved in not 1 but 2 Mazda recalls. One in 2011 and the other in 2014. So it was found that these spiders were making their webs in the evap hoses of the emission control systems of the Mazda 6. Now later, Mazda claimed that the spiders apparently just liked the smell of gasoline, and thus the myth that the yellow sac spider loves the smell of gasoline was born and started getting repeated everywhere.
Have you ever wondered why we are paid
No, I don't wonder that. Shut up.
to earn it and you can
Even Wikipedia entry for the Caracanthium genus mentions this, although they do go on to mention that it was later found that the spiders didn't like the smell of gasoline. They just found the evap hoses to be optimal nesting places. And
Stupid
they sourced
YouTube
that the same
advertisements.
source that I had already come across, which was an abstract for a poster session presented in Indianapolis in 2016, detailing research led by Dr. Victoria Schmalhofer from IUP. Well, now I thought this was kind of an odd explanation because there are lots of optimal nesting places in lots of vehicles. So why these specific hoses and why specifically the Mazda 6?
It's like, why? Don't you wonder why we're paid every 2 weeks when we work every day?
For a spider that size,
No, I don't work at all.
was actually attracting those spiders. So I wrote in the hoses and why specifically the Mazda 6. So I read the abstract, and what I got from it was that while those hoses were optimal nesting places for a spider that size, there was something about the hose material itself that was actually attracting those spiders. So I wrote to Dr. Schmalhofer and I asked if I was reading the abstract right. She very kindly replied with a very long and detailed explanation, which was awesome and could honestly be its own video someday. It turns out the problem was not unique to Mazda. Other manufacturers were struggling with exactly the same issue. Ford actually created an entire team of engineers to solve the problem. They came up with a screen. But the main discovery of Dr. Schmalhofer's research was that younger juvenile Paracambium spiders were attracted to the hose material itself, even when it was cut up so it no longer resembled a tube. Older spiders didn't really seem to care, and they were actually repelled by gasoline. But the bottom line was, yes, the Wikipedia article misinterprets the experimental results. You are correct. Younger spiders are attracted to the hose material.
The hose!
Explanation is somewhat misleading. And misrepresents the very research it draws on. And this, kids, is why your teachers don't let you cite Wikipedia as a source.
Okay, have
So
fun.
let's go on to behavior. This spider is an active hunter, meaning that it doesn't build a web and use that to trap prey. It actually goes out and chases it down and hunts it. They're pretty quick, nimble little spiders. They're primarily nocturnal, so they build a little
What's up with him?
sleeping bag that they stay in during the day, and then they come out at night to hunt. Now these little sacks are pretty inconspicuous, especially if you have white walls and a white ceiling.
No!
Here's one of the spiders actually in her sack, and you can see how the sack sort of blends right in with the ceiling and the wall. And you can see it's really quite translucent as well. And in a house, this tends to be exactly where they'll put this little sack, is right where the ceiling meets the wall. They'll go into that corner right there. And they're excellent climbers. They seem to be most comfortable when they're either on a vertical surface or inverted upside down. They don't seem to like
What are you
a
doing?
whole lot. Not positive on that, but that seems to be a trend. I noticed this when I was photographing
Oops.
this spider. The spider did not like staying on this rock, and it seemed a lot more at ease when I gave it this vertical surface to climb on, and then it sort of calmed down. This guy seemed to really like the taste of his own feet. And I'm not really sure what he's doing with his spinnerets here. I wish I knew, but I don't. Also, like most spiders, these have 6 spinnerets. For a long time, I thought most spiders only had 2, but they in fact have 6, and they're all different types. So they come out of their sacks at night to hunt, and that's when you're going to see them crawling up your walls, crawling across the ceiling. That's the time of day they're going to do that. Now, the Wikipedia entry for these spiders mentions that they have a tapetum lucidum, which is a reflective layer behind the retina, which allows light coming into the eyes to pass through the retina, bounce off the tapetum, and back through the retina a second time. And they say that this would indicate that these spiders have pretty good vision. But none of Wikipedia's listed sources actually said that they had good vision. And all of the websites that I could find that claimed they had good vision either cited Wikipedia as a source or didn't cite a source at all.
Mosaic, hi, baby. I missed one. Hi, baby. Hello, baby. Hello. Slimes and ranching. I went the wrong way both times. Oh, dang. Hi, Tangle baby. My favorite slime. One of my favorite slimes, at least. Oh, by the way, they can hurt you pretty badly. They are the best for money. The best. Like, hands down. I shite you not. What am I doing? The fuck? Yeah, it's about, I know it sounded like I was being sarcastic before, but no, it is literally about ranching, collecting slimes, making money, building up the farm, exploring. Oh, I forgot that was an achievement. Yeah, I'm trying to 100% it. Ow. Ow. Beautiful. Okay, good. This one doesn't have a floor collector. I don't need you anymore, baby. Bye-bye. I go there now. Anything to collect? Nope, thought not. I can show you how to play. I'd gladly do so. I can get you nice and started. Yeah, I'll help you get started. I'll get going. Or you could put slimes in here. Ah! No! Baby, come back! Whoa! It's not all bad. But then again, it isn't the first game now, is it? In my opinion, it's better in a lot of ways. Everything is really bright, though. It's easier to get resources in that game. Like, a lot easier. And it's a lot scarier, in my opinion, as well. Alright, let's see. How so? You always get a guaranteed thing. It's always either titanium or that other thing. It can't be one of like 3 different things. I like that. Oh. Okay. Ah. You do need lead a lot. Lead is very, very, very important. Yes, mother dear. My phone's at 2%. Hold on.
Okay.
So what's up?
Is your favorite Pokemon Mew or Mewtwo?
You mean which one of the 2 do I prefer?
Yes.
Mewtwo is a lot more powerful.
Like, if you were gonna have... Okay. Alright. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Yep, I love you, bye. Oh, wait, hold on, no, wait. I need pizzas. I need lunch. I don't have anything to eat for lunch.
There what? I thought there was still pizza in the freezer.
No, I ate it.
Make some oatmeal?
Okay.
Some Pop-Tarts?
I ate my last Pop-Tart.
Oh, I won't be home for a little bit, and there's not a Kroger anywhere near where I am.
McDonald's.
I'll think about it.
Burger and nuggets.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Alright, I love you.
Love you too, bye.
Bye. I love my mom. Okay, so lead is going to be very important. Like, oh my god, you can never have too much lead. I'm not kidding. You want me to start a new game and help you out? I'll do that right now. It'd be nice to restart again, and I have to so I can get the last achievement. Here, I'll restart and help you. I'm gonna end this stream and start another one, okay? I want to play it actually, so it's not any trouble for me. Quickly! Say yes or no! Trust me when I say you're going to need all the lead and more. I'm going to stop this stream and I'm gonna start a Below Zero stream. I'm gonna restart the game because I have to anyways. And I'll help you out because some things can be very confusing. And I know like everything about the game. I won't spoil anything, but I can help you out in the beginning because it's really rough unless you know what you're doing. Oh, my mom's calling me back. Yes, mother dear.
If you had to choose between Mew and Pikachu, who would you choose?
That's a hard question. I mean, like, Pikachu's yellow, but
Yeah, I know.
Mew is cute. Pikachu, I guess, because yellow?
Okay, I love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Okay. I want to help somebody with below 0. I'm gonna. Oh, why did I grab the wrong controller again? Why are they right next to each other? Okay, so I'm gonna put in one of the Subnautica discs. Hold on, let me ask my Discord. If Discord will work today. No, go away. I'm going to have to uninstall Discord and reinstall it again, aren't I? God. Are you in my Discord? I need... Why did that take so many tries? I need... Okay, so Discord frickin' hates me. Hold on, I'm gonna uninstall it, then reinstall it, because that usually fixes it. Delete app. You go sleep. You have a good sleep. I look up Discord and the first thing that comes up is Instagram. Alright, I'm gonna pop in below 0. What do I pop in Subnautica? The fuck? What is happening? Okay.